I have the distinct pleasure of introducing you tonight, this afternoon actually, to Anoka Abeyrathne. And she's from Sri Lanka. And it's a country that was transformed in 2004 by the tsunami. And that's when her activism in terms of community and rebuilding sustainable communities started. 13 years have gone by, and she's 25 now. So imagine this, a 12-year-old girl transformed by a tsunami that devastated her community, her country. She lost family members. Today, she's an environmentalist, a social entrepreneur, and an aspiring lawyer who is committed to developing sustainable communities in her country and others in South Asia. Currently, her programs are working in 5 countries in South Asia, and she's looking to expand into Africa and South America. And one of her priorities here is to meet young leaders from Africa and South America to talk about her model. And that model is one of assisting vulnerable communities, communities that are vulnerable with respect to their economies and their geographical locations along the coastline. Her program is called Growin Money. And since 2004, she has been responsible for the replanting of 40,000 mangrove trees, which buffer the coastlines, protect the communities and the coral reefs offshore. And she has designed a micro-enterprise model for communities that is running in up to 5,000 villagers and in countries with 20,000 volunteers. Now, the micro-enterprise that she's involved in is agriculture, sustainable fishing, organic farming, and the development of arts and crafts that the countries sell. She believes in providing intelligent solutions to sustainability and environmental problems, combining information technology, education, and teaching entrepreneurial skills to people in developing nations. Currently active in 5 countries and looking to expand to other continents. I would like to introduce you to Anoka.
In Sri Lanka, we had 3 consecutive island-wide power cuts in just the last 6 months, as well as monsoon rain pattern changes. These resulted in the largest landslides we've ever seen, affecting over 300,000 people and killing over 200. These are because of climate change. It can no longer be dismissed as a myth. For centuries, our ancestors have grown and harvested food according to these rain patterns, which have changed drastically over the past couple of years. In 2014, we had a 10-month dry spell, which led to a decrease in our harvests by 17%. Sometimes the rains get delayed by 2 to 3 months. That means the planting season has already passed. And sometimes the rains come too early, washing away the flowers that become fruit and vegetable. And it also makes the traditional crops like rice get too soggy and rot. That means we don't have anything left to harvest. If you live below $1 a day, that means that you can afford only rice and lentils. But if you can't afford it, you will go hungry. After the 2004 tsunami, we set up Growin Money to help vulnerable communities in situations like this. Growin Money is an eco-social enterprise present in 5 countries, and we've replanted over 40,000 mangroves with over 20,000 volunteers. Now, during the pre-social media days, we used to do this offline, but now, thanks to Facebook, we can connect with people much faster and much more easily. In 2010, we set up centers to support over 5,000 villagers by teaching them, firstly, organic farming of high-yield type crops. These are more reliable, they provide a higher crop, and farmers can get a higher income. So now, farmers grow dragon fruit, passion fruit, as well as bananas, along with traditional crops like rice. Secondly, we've helped over 300 people become standardized by the Ministry of Economic Development with homestays. And we created an ecotourism industry around this. That means that now our farmers and fishermen can use their own homes while learning about their own community's biodiversity. For example, in my community, we have over 45 fish, 16 amphibians, 40 reptiles, 97 birds, and 31 mammal species. That means the farmers and fishermen also get an additional income. Thirdly, we provide access to basic IT skills like Word and Excel, and access to IT skills for entrepreneurial skills development, for better community-based sustainable urban development. We can now promote homestays on online platforms like Airbnb and Booking.com. This really wasn't possible previously. It also helps young people grasp the concept of sustainability while encouraging older or more traditional members of the community to embrace sustainability. Our communities also use these skills to get in touch with companies, NGOs, and local authorities to use these IT skills to promote research as well as gain more insight on data on pollution. Next month, we will begin teaching 300 people coding skills. Why coding skills, you might ask? Well, it's because not only will it provide an income for our people today, but when the day comes that we have to leave our island, we will still have a chance to work in the global online digitized community. Why should you care? My country is a tiny tear-shaped island right at the southern base of India. While we do have mountains, we are mostly just 2 meters above sea level. That means by 2025, we will lose over 6,000 hectares of land to sea level rising. For a tiny island like mine, it means that in about 100 years, we won't have an island to live in. That's if I was alive. But it does mean that there would be more than 22 million climate refugees. And we have to stop that from happening. Let's help communities like yours and mine realize their unfulfilled potential with simple but effective technology. After all, it's time we moved on from being victims to being our own heroes. And what better place to start than at One Young World? So thank you, and Ayubowan.